In part 2 of this video series, we're going to be taking a look at creating the rhinestones for the word baseball. Good rhinestone design takes good knowledge and it takes a fair bit of effort to get maximum results. I cannot tell you how many designs I've seen available for purchase, how many designs I've seen of people demonstrating a finished product on a shirt, and I thought to myself, I would never put that on a shirt because the design isn't a quality design. And so yes, we do tend to spend a little bit more time on our designs, but the end result is going to be a really high quality result. And rhinestones is really just a commodity business. There are many places on the internet to get rhinestone designs done. You probably have a dozen shops right around your area that also do rhinestones. So the one thing that's really going to set you apart is being able to, first of all, produce a design right there on the spot. You don't have to wait for somebody else to make it for you. You can produce a design right there on the spot when your customer is hot and heavy to buy. The other thing is, of course, is the quality of that design. Because you're the designer, you control the ultimate output and you can create really high quality designs. And in time, your customers will notice that. When they come to you for a quote on a given project and you're able to produce a really high quality design, and the next shop might be a little bit more money, but their design isn't near to the caliber yours is, you're going to have more business. So that's really where our focus is on these video tutorials, is showing you not how to do something very quickly necessarily, but more importantly, how to do something with the utmost premium quality. Alright, so with that said, let's go ahead and show you how we're going to do baseball here. Now, of course, we all want this button that we can push that will give us the results that we want. But the reality is that doesn't exist. It may never exist. But there are tools here in EasyStone that will make the process much easier for us. The only thing is we have to understand what that process is. And that's the purpose of these videos. So let's go ahead and begin by typing out the word baseball. And you guys are so lucky because we have tons of videos that show you all kinds of different projects. And when I started doing rhinestone designs a year and a half ago, there is no one, even to this day, year and a half later, there is no one that is showing you step by step how to create anything in any rhinestone program out there. Because I almost think it's because they don't want you to know that good quality designs you cannot produce by just clicking a button. The software is not magical. So it takes a great operator to understand how to use these tools in your rhinestone software to get the results, not some magic button that you can push. At any rate, let's go ahead and change our font style to Arial Black for this example. I want my lettering to be about 1.75 inches tall. And the width of my lettering, I would like to be, I'll tell you what, let's actually add a little bit of spacing between the letters. So let's go character spacing here in the text properties docker. Let's do 35%. And then let's make the overall width of the design about 9¼ inches. So that is going to be baseball. Alright, so I'm going to actually export this design. I have a little macro that we created to export this to Hotfix era. We're not going to do that right now because right now we're talking about how to create this in EasyStone. But I'm going to show you how we create this in EasyStone, and then we're going to show you this same baseball text in Hotfix era. And if there's one rhinestone program on the planet that I would recommend to anyone, and trust me, I've tried them all, Hotfix era would probably be that one piece of software. It does some special things that we cannot do in EasyStone, and it does those special things very well. And we're going to show you that in other video demonstrations. In fact, we're going to show you that in part 3 of this video series as well. Of course, the drawback to Hotfix is, number one, it's $500. It only does rhinestones, which is kind of a drag. And there are a lot of things in the software that aren't very good, that CorelDRAW does much better. And Easy Stone, for that matter, does much better than what we can do in Hotfix. So yes, I do like the software for a few of its capabilities, which we're going to showcase in part 3, but it does also have a lot of shortcomings, in my opinion. So at any rate, let's show you how we're going to take care of baseball here in Easy Stone, because it's really simple. The only problem is there's no magic button to push to convert this. So let me show you how we're going to do this. What I would probably first do is just right click on the word baseball and lock it. That locks it down. I can't click on it. I can't do anything with it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come into our stone tab and click on drop stone, and we're just going to click anywhere. It doesn't really matter where we click. Drop one single stone, that is SS10. I'm going to position this stone right here at the bottom of my letter L. We'll just start with our letter L. Come to the stone fill tab and hit the up arrow. And what that's going to do is that's going to perfectly offset that stone. Select that whole row and offset in the other direction. And then we're going to select these parts that we don't need and delete. We're going to do just 2 rows wide. Okay, even though this part of the L is a little bit thicker, we're only going to do 2 rows wide. And we're going to make a copy of it. So now we have a copy of it. And an L can also be an E. Okay. And then we're just going to select these 2 stones and we're going to offset those. This one's overhanging, so we'll delete that. And then right here we'll select these and offset these. Okay. So that takes care of that. And then what else do we want to do? Well, right here we're going to go ahead and select our E. And our E's will become B's. Now you can see these stones here, they're a little bit off. So we're going to select those. Let's go to our stone fill tab. If we hold down the control key and hit our down arrow, watch what happens. See, we get another set, right? So that's not obviously what we want. If we select those and hold down the Alt key and click on our down arrows, notice we don't get another set, but it moves one whole stone width. Did you see that? Let me undo that. So we'll select that again. So now if I hold down Alt and Control at the same time, it'll nudge these stones, but only half that distance. Pretty nifty, eh? Alright, so we said that E's become B's. Let's show you how. So what we're going to do is delete a couple of stones here. And what we're going to do now is just draw a path. So doesn't have to be perfect. Just, whoops, draw a path. Add stones to that path. And now you can see that kind of forms our letter B. And because the top part is the same as the bottom part, we should be able to pick this up and copy it right down and have it connect perfectly, just like that. Okay, so we'll go ahead and select the whole design, hit delete stone paths. And then for the rest of our letter B here, we'll just kind of hand place these stones. We're just, because it's easier. So we're just clicking and dragging and then right clicking. That's all we're doing. Clicking and dragging and right clicking. We'll select those stones. We'll copy them up. We'll mirror them. And then we should be able to just snap them right down into place because the top part of our B is the same as the bottom part of our B. So now we have our B taken care of. So that takes care of that. Let's take care of our letter A. And the way we do that is select 2 stones here from our letter B, drag them over. Then we're going to take 2 stones from the top of our letter B, drag them over. Then we're going to take this stone and hold the Shift key, add stones. This stone and this stone, Shift key, add stones. Then we're going to select both of those lines. We're going to flip it over. And the way we're doing that is just grabbing a control handle in the middle, dragging, holding the control key down to snap proportionately, right click to make a duplicate. Then we're going to drag it from the center of this stone to the center of that one. So now you have kind of overlapping. So we're going to select all of that and hit delete stone paths. And then we're going to take those 4 stones and hit Shift P. Now you see those are kind of tight, so let's delete one. Shift P. And then these stones, Shift P. That will set the spacing to be perfect between each one of those stones. And then down here, we're going to select this one and this one, Shift Add Stones. Shift Add Stones. Now you can see what the heck is happening here. Well, the reason that happens, when you see that happen using the Shift Add Stone function, that's because one of these stones have been mirrored. So if we select this stone and mirror it back, we have to do one at a time actually. So mirror it and then mirror it. And now you can see it doesn't look that way. It doesn't look goofy now. So again, we're going to select that. We're going to hit delete stone paths. Okay? And then over here, we can just duplicate that letter A. Now, here comes the fun part, and that's the letter S. Let me just unlock this. And what we're going to do is, right now, this is a text object. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert it to a curve. So just right-click and choose Convert to Curves. Grab our Shape Edit tool. Delete the letters that we don't want to work with. So I don't need B and A, and I don't need the rest of these letters either. I just need my letter S. S's are always tricky, and we have a way to create this letter S pretty easily. And trust me, this was only dreamt of in the middle of the night when I'm wondering how we can create this letter S very quickly and easily. And so with a lot of trial and error, I finally discovered the trick. So let me show you how this works. It's kind of a fun little project here. So what we're going to do is take our letter S, and we're going to, first of all, convert it to a bitmap. Then what we're going to do is we're going to find the center point of this S by coming up to Trace Bitmap, Center Line Trace, Line Drawing. And we're going to find the center of our S. So there's the center of our S. Okay. Now what I'd like to do is go ahead and drag over a stone to the top of our letter S. And I'd also like to do the same thing to the bottom of our letter S. Okay. And then what we're going to do is take this and come to our stone fill and drag it down and drag it up. And you say, well, why is he doing all of that? Well, let me show you why we're going to do that. I'm going to put this line right in the middle of these two stones. That's what our goal is. So let's just drag this line down to the middle, thereabouts. And then this one here, we're going to drag it down to the middle, thereabouts. Okay? So then what we're going to do is we're going to use a nifty little tool here in CorelDRAW, which is our interactive contour tool. You might say, what in the world's going on here? But trust me, bear with me. It's going to be awesome when we get to the end. So we have a single path, but we need two paths, right? All the other lettering has two paths. So all we need to do is click and drag, and I'm just going to do it up here. So click and drag, and notice, see, we're getting that second path, and what we're looking for is that path, that little blue outline, to kind of go through the center of those two stones. That's what we're looking for. And, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. And if you look here, you can see it's going to go through the center of these two stones as well. So then we're going to select what we just created, that outside line, and right-click and choose Break Contour Group Apart. And then we're going to take that line, and I'll tell you what, let's just come in here and delete these stones. We're going to take that line, and we're going to add stones to it. And then we're just going to select the whole works and hit Delete Stone Paths. Delete that middle path, because we don't need that no more. And then all we have to do is tweak. So we're going to delete a couple extra stones here that we don't need. So that takes care of that. And then up here, same kind of thing. We're just going to, these two we probably aren't going to use. And we'll just kind of shuffle these around a little bit. And there we have it. Our good looking S for our baseball. And that is how we create our baseball text. So now it's just a matter of selecting each letter. And I'm going to just group it. So select that letter, group it, group it, group it. All I'm doing is hitting Control G, selecting it, hitting Control G. And then with that done, then we can come over here and just kind of rough place this lettering. And what I'm doing is I'm actually making a duplicate. And there's our A and our B. And then we can kind of just get it so it looks like we want it here. Just making the small adjustments. I'll rotate it around, whatever you want to do there. Doesn't have to be exact like the original, but we'll get it close. All right. Good enough for what we're doing here. All right. So that looks great. So then we're just going to come in here. I'm just going to delete that underlying original artwork. So we don't need it anymore. Oops. So there is our word baseball mom. So what we're going to do is actually select all these letters. We're going to group them all together and then ungroup all of them. And then we're going to change the color. And then maybe what I'll do here is I'll just nudge the whole works down a little bit. And you can see there is our word baseball. So did it take a little bit of work? Yes, it took a little bit of work, but the end result is exactly what we want. Now earlier we talked a little bit about Hotfix, and what I want to do is show you Hotfix. So we're going to open up this file, and we have the word baseball here. So there is the same exact word that we used in CorelDRAW with EasyStone. Now keep in mind this software is $500. And so it's a bit of an investment, but what we want to do is we want to take a look at how this software would handle the same challenge, specifically with the letter B. If we want to fill this letter B with rhinestones, what can we do? Well, there's a few options here. So we're going to select it, convert to Hotfix, and we're going to choose area with Hotfix. These are all the various different options in terms of fill options that Hotfix offers. So there's two probably very common ones, which would be grid and radial Hotfix. Let's try grid to show you what it looks like. So you can see that the grid fill, if we turn off the vectors, you can see that result isn't pretty, right? That's not as nice looking as what we produced in CorelDRAW. So that's problematic number one. So what we're going to do is turn back on our vectors. What is another option? Let's go ahead and delete that Hotfix. What's another option? Well, another option would be to convert to Hotfix again, and this time we'll use the radial Hotfix. And you can see that is the result with radial Hotfix. Now that looks more similar to what we were doing in CorelDRAW, doesn't it? But let me just zoom in here a little bit and just really understand what's happening here. So the way all rhinestone software works, this isn't just Hotfix, this is just the way it is. When you're doing a fill, it's going to look at the actual vector object that we gave it. So you can see these stones are placed right alongside the outside edge, right along the inside edge, and then whatever in the middle, the software tries to work it out and fill in the middle as best it can. But you can see there are limitations to computing. And right here there's a big gaping hole. And here you can see these aren't positioned very well. Now there is an option. Now in CorelDRAW we only wanted 2 stones wide. So in order to kind of mimic a similar function here in Hotfix, when you're using the radial hotfix option, there's an option called margin. So if we hit the up arrow, watch what happens. These stones come from the outside edge in. Do you see that happening right over here? And I keep hitting the up arrow, and watch how all these stones will kind of fluctuate and change. You see it happening. Every time I click up, something different happens, right? So we just keep on clicking, and right there it goes to pot. So let me back up one. That is really our best result here in Hotfix. And you can see obviously there's problems along the back edge here. There's problems along here because these aren't 2 stones wide. You can see there's a pretty big gaping hole there. The spacing between these these 2 stones is quite wide. So there's issues here. And this isn't really a drawback to Hotfix. If we turn off vectors, okay, you can see this result was much better than the previous result, right? But obviously there's still work to be done here. The challenge in Hotfix is the editing tools it gives us in Hotfix aren't the greatest. And so a lot of people I've seen who use this program would call that good because there's no easy way to edit these individual stones like there is in CorelDRAW. So it's a bit of a give and take. There's still work to be done here to make it right, and so you have to decide, you know, what environment you want to work in. For me, it's all about CorelDRAW because I know it quite well, and I can jump in there, do the things that I need to do, get the results that I'm looking to get, and not spend a great deal of time doing them. So I hope you learned something in this video and can take these different procedures that we did and apply them to your own type of design work that you're doing. And I hope you bear with us for one more part, the fun part, and that is creating a filled-in star shape as well as creating that baseball heart for the top part of the design. You don't want to miss that, and we're going to show you where Hotfix really shines in that department as far as the rhinestone fills go. And then we're going to show you how to create the same fill here in EasyStone, and so you can kind of compare the differences of how the 2 programs work. Thanks for watching.